pretty extensive testing, so we wanted to know what went wrong here. Sent our Tim Becker to find out. He's live now in Southeast Portland with more. Tim?
Jeff, Jennifer, good evening. First, to be clear, that bad batch of pot was found at a shop in Mapleton, Oregon. That is about 45 miles west of Eugene, so no problem with the supply in any of the stores here in Portland right now. But that said, the OLCC in the end traced the problem right back to the testing lab.
And all systems are based on humans doing the work correctly, and this was clearly a human error activity, but another human caught it. So
the OLCC's Mark Pettinger tells me that labs do a panel of tests on each batch of pot for different things like water content, THC concentration, and of course pesticides. Once the batch passes, it moves to the wholesalers for distribution. Everything is monitored on this cannabis tracking system.
They send me the product in metric.
And this is where the testing lab dropped the ball. The weed that was recalled was tested at the lab, but the full panel of testing wasn't done before someone entered results into the system.
In reality, what had happened is it only had passed a couple of the tests on the panel, and not probably the more important one, the pesticide test.
They shouldn't have never actually made it in the system, but stuff's going to slip through the cracks with anything.
Jason Fitzgerald is store manager at Addis Trading Company, where he constantly watches the tracking system.
It tells me everything it says about it.
He showed us where the shop owner in Lane County eventually caught the failed pesticide test before reporting it to the state.
He caught it at the store level, which is where, I mean, that's the last line of defense, so you got to catch it. It was a great job on his part.
Up to this point, there's been lots of product that's safely flowed through the cannabis tracking system.
Pettinger tells me about 5% of pot fails the pesticide test, but they'll use this recall to find out if there's any way to improve the tracking system.
It really just had to do with that the data was not all entered at the same time correctly.
So 31 people were sold pot from that bad batch, and now the OLCC says anybody who bought that brand should either return it to the retailer or throw it out. Live in Southeast Portland, Tim Becker, KOIN 6 News.
Yeah, fascinating story that they have the testing equipment to actually track it down. Where did that bad batch come from? Well, lawmakers in the Oregon Senate approve a bill